I'm going to show you how to create a layered collage using the blending option in Photoshop. This is similar to the image that I'm going to end up with, but I'm going to start by creating a new document. Go to File, New. And then I'm going to use a photograph for my background. That is a picture that I took of a wasp nest. So I select all and then copy this image, edit, copy. Then I go to my blank untitled and paste. Edit, paste. All right. Now I'm going to click on the transform control to shrink this image to fill my canvas exactly the way that I want it to look. That looks pretty good. All right. Now I'm going to be using two different overlays. One is this image here, and I created it on white paper using black ink and stamping, using homemade stamps that I made. And this is another slightly different version, also using stamps that I created and made this design on white paper. Now the blending options are especially created for this kind of image because you have a mostly black and white image, and it is going to be looking for either the white background or the black of the image to make transparent. And that is the purpose of the blending option, to make transparent layers that are transparent partially. So the first thing I want to do is select all of this and then copy it. Now I'm going to paste on my collage. All right, so I'm going to go to image. I have to end my transform function, and then I have to go to image, edit, paste. And here is the design that has been added as a layer. And now to change the blending option, I go over here to the blending option box, which is this small box that's above the options panel on the layers window. So if you go to your layers window, you click on and make sure that you're on the layer that you're going to alter. And then you go to where it says normal. So it will always default to normal layer style unless you select this drop-down menu. Now there's a great deal of different things that you can do in this with this drop-down menu. There is this whole section here that is sort of the dark and burn mode, and they give you options, 5 different options. And what these are doing is they are replacing the white in the image with clear. So multiply is the most common, but my favorite is probably linear burn. You can see each one does something slightly different. So depending on your image, you can decide which of these you prefer. I like linear burn. It tends to give the most opaque, dark, black lines. So I'm going to choose that, and then I'm going to move my image, my layer over a bit until I have it exactly where I want it placed in the collage. Okay, now I'm going to do a second one. I'm going to click on the check mark to confirm transformation, Then I'm going to select my second stamped image. So before I place this one, I am going to, instead of selecting all, I'm going to just select a part of it using the elliptical marquee. So starting in the corner in the upper left, I'm going to drag the tool all the way down to make a circular selection over the design. Now the design isn't exactly where I want it, the selection isn't exactly where I want it, so I'm going to right click and choose transform selection. So that's going to put the selection itself into transform mode, not the image, just the selection. So now I can move the selection exactly where I want it to be. And you can see that I'm wanting to just select the design and get rid of the background, and you'll see in a minute exactly why I'm doing that. All right, that's good enough. Okay, now I'm going to copy this. So it's going to copy just what's inside of the selection. So edit, I have to confirm transform by hitting the check mark, then go to edit, copy, then go to my untitled, and I'm going to edit, paste. Now I want the cut off edge to be on the other side. So I want to flip this image, and I do that by going to the Move tool, clicking on the Transform control box, right-clicking inside, going to the bottom of the window and selecting Flip Horizontal. Okay, so now my cutoff edge is on the other side, and when I move, now I have it cutting off just on that one side and on the bottom. So I'm going to shrink it down a little bit so it's cut off on those two edges. All right. Now, when I confirm transformation, then when I go to the blending options box, I'm going to go to the second set of options, which are the lighten or dodge options. So what these are doing is, instead of taking the white of the paper and making it transparent, it is actually taking the black of the design and making it transparent and leaving the white of the paper. That's why I wanted to crop, so that you did not see the full rectangular shape of the paper. So we've got lighten, screen, color dodge, linear dodge, and I prefer the linear dodge. I think it gives the most I think I'm going to choose this last one right now, and you can see that it has a completely different look. The other options are fun to play with. They do all sorts of interesting things. It's a good thing that in Photoshop, when you hover over an option, it gives you a preview so that you can see what it is that you're hoping to do. You can see how that will look. So there's a lot of interesting options and more at the bottom that have to do with color. I'm going to choose this one called lighter color. All right. I'm going to make this a bit smaller. And once I have clicked the check mark, then I'm going to make sure I'm on that layer. I'm going to go to opacity, and I'm going to take down the opacity a little bit so that it is somewhat translucent. All right, that's it. That is creating a basic layered collage using blending options. I hope this was helpful.